Long, awesome day of baseball. Great response in game 2. Tough, obviously, game 1. We tip of the cap to their starting pitcher. Did a great job of keeping us down and started to make a comeback a little bit late, but unfortunately had dug ourselves too big of a hole in the first 4 innings. So I liked the way we responded and came out. And, right away, Jimmy hits a 2-run, 2-out homer in the first, and then we were either scoring or threatening to score every inning. And Aidan pitched very well, just doing what he does, attacking the strike zone, letting the defense work, and putting zeros up. But just like the way that we, really just the way we competed and the way we played, we hit the long ball, but we also manufactured. Jack Crichton hits a single, steals second. Canarella moves him over. Jared Purify hits him in with a sac fly. So, a lot of good stuff taking place out there today. And just game 2 was obviously the better of the 2 games for us, but still walking out of here with a series win. It's hard to sweep in this league, but just all in all, happy with our response.
Questions for players?
Jimmy, 3 home runs in the second game today, 2 yesterday. I mean, it seems like you're just seeing a real big ball right now.
Yeah, they're giving us a great scouting report, what the guys have, so just trying to put the ball in play and get on base.
You're actually the third different player to hit 3 home runs in a game this season. That's just demonstrative of how much power this team has, doesn't it?
Yeah, this offense is a lot of fun to be a part of, and we got a lot more coming.
Aidan, looked like your changeup was really working for you today.
Yeah, it was. Everything felt great, but it's really very easy to pitch behind a great offense and having some run support. Got guys like Jimmy in the lineup, putting in good ABs, so it's very, very easy to pitch like that.
Getting that run support like you did today, how much pressure does that kind of take off of you rather than maybe having to pitch from behind?
Yeah, it does relieve some pressure, just being able to trust your guys on defense and his offense as well.
Your last 4 starts, you've thrown, as Coach mentioned, a lot of zeros. After that Florida State game, what changed? Did you change anything up in what you were doing?
No, not really. Just being more fine point with everything, and just getting all the details in, and just going over video with Belly and just touching up a couple things every week.
Seems like you work really fast out there on the mound. The pitch clock is completely wasted on you. Have you always been that way, or is that something you've kind of grown into?
Coach Belly always preaches to get out there and attack, so just trying to go by our pitching motto here, and it feels like it's been working very well.
Jimmy, they were talking to him about getting run support, but for you guys to know he's going to go out there and throw a bunch of zeros, how easy does that make life for you guys?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun catching him. It's also more fun. It makes you know that no matter what the score is, we can put up some runs. Aidan's going to put up a 0 that next inning, so it's a lot of fun playing with him on the mound.
Jimmy, I'm just curious. Go ahead.
It looks like you've gotten more comfortable over the last, week or so, last month. How much fun is it hitting here, and then what's been kind of your approach over the stretch?
It's been a lot of fun. These guys are awesome, and just trying to do one thing at a time, playing one pitch at a time, trying to get on base and help the whole team and the offense together.
Jimmy, I'm just curious, moving down here from Michigan, what was the biggest adjustment for you, good or bad?
I love EB, and so that was an easy adjustment, but playing with these guys is awesome, and there's no real adjustment because the whole team's bought into what we're doing here.
But no culture shock or anything being in the South?
Anything else for the players?
For both of you guys, 9 of the next 12 are on the road. How do you kind of get in that road dog mentality now?
We've been on the road for a few weeks before, so just keeping that same mindset and just play every game the same way that we always do.
Anything else for the players? All right,
Thanks guys.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, guys.
Questions for Coach?
Well, Coach, it was a rough start, falling behind 8-0 in the first game, but I guess the silver lining is the way they bounced back.
That is, and then finding 3 more pitchers, I thought, McGovern and Fitzgerald and Dvorsky really pitched extremely well, putting zeros up at the end of that game. I mean, they gave us a shot to come back, and we did start to make a comeback. It was just, ran out of innings. But those three guys, I mean, they, at least from a coach's vantage point, that says, hey, give us more opportunities, and let's see what we can do, and some, maybe some, more of a leverage type situation, not just a margin type game. But love seeing, McGovern's just deceptive and got some funk to his delivery. Fitzgerald with that quick tempo delivery and the attack with the fastball, the cutter, the slider, and then Dvorsky with the fastball, curveball split, and all of them throwing strikes. Those three, that was really the biggest positive of that first game of the doubleheader. See those guys, maybe solidify themselves as three more weapons for us in the bullpen.
What was maybe the message between games after the way you lost the first game?
Anytime you have a doubleheader, the best thing about that, where you drop game one, is it's just like amnesia. You just instantly forget and flush it and move on. You learn the lessons you need to learn, but it's just, you get something to eat, you change your jersey, and you get ready to come out and you make the adjustment. If you win game one, it's, you stick with all the positive things that were working for you in game one and want to continue to build off of those. But our guys were definitely pissed after game one. I mean, you could just see it, that we had just, come out and dug such a hole. I don't think anyone, with Darden on the mound could have predicted, based on how he's pitched the last few weeks. But that's baseball, and that happens some days, and some days pitchers are up, and they could, any offense could take advantage of some mistake pitches, and they did. But in between games, they made a quick adjustment and came out, with a very, very focused look in their eye, and then you see the approach was executed, and they were putting really good swings on the ball all game.
You talked about running out of innings in that first game on the offensive side. Do you think that kind of carried over into game two offensively a little bit?
Felt like it, yeah. I mean, Blake hits the 3-run jack in the ninth, and I think everybody knew we've just come back so many times. We've played from deficit so many times. We knew it was coming, but we had just 8 runs that's a big hole. Especially when their starting pitcher is holding us down. It's one thing to hold us down for 2, 3, 4 innings, but he was holding us down going into the 7th. So it was just a big deficit to overcome. So I think they were angry because it was too little, too late. But then it was also they were going to capture we won the final few frames, and were able to carry that into game 2.
You mentioned Crichton. You pinched him at the end of the first game. Then he goes 3 for 4 in game 2. Got to be nice to see that with Will Taylor out for the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, there's a group of outfielders that are all chomping at the bit, with Jack Crichton and Tristan Becerra and Nate Hall, Leighton Lackey, and they all are going to get opportunities, and that's just it's what you want to see. Becerra did it earlier in the year and hits a couple of homers against Greensboro, and then carries it over through Duke, and then Jack Crichton, big 3 hits today. Everything's hard, so you just kind of want to see that spark, and then you just kind of ride the hot hand, and so I expect we'll continue to do that. Same thing with Cooper Blauser and Jacob Jarrell, and just finding some different combinations, and still have some moving parts, and those are the adjustments we got to make now that we've been forced to make these adjustments with the guys that are out, not just Will Taylor but Chufo, and so it's a good thing. It's not ideal at times, but this is a perfect time of the year to have adversity like this, as we're finishing the month of April and getting ready to head into May and June.
I was going to ask you kind of about that. The last 10 games, you've had the most adversity you've had all year. Your assessments for the last 10 games and how your team's handled these adversities.
Yeah, I mean, we've won a lot, and we've learned a lot of lessons when the outcome has still been in the win column, and it's a different lesson learned when you lose. And then it's a completely different feeling as well when some of your mainstay players are out for extended periods of time, and it just the default was to this damper that it kind of puts on the mood, and because there's a high level of care in this room for each other. I mean, these guys genuinely care about each other. So that's part of it. You feel bad for your buddy, and then the other part is, how are we going to make these adjustments? And so there is that, there's an adjustment period, and we've been going through it the last 2 weeks, and it's not been it has not been the same level of baseball that we were playing against Duke and Florida State. I mean, it's certainly, we've taken some hits, but we will go through it and battle and fight and compete, and I think it'll make us better because of it. I'm never happy because of injuries, but this time of year is totally fine to get knocked down a little bit. And this whole thing, the adversity of the injuries and the losing and all of it, will be part of the story. But we're still finding ways, and we found a way to win the week this week and win the series, and even though it wasn't always pretty.
How well did you get to know the late Doug Kingsmore, and how special was it for you to be a part of that celebration for him today?
It was a great celebration. What he's meant to Clemson baseball over the decades, and the generosity of the Kingsmore family and the entire family. I mean, his sons Mike and Sam, and just the whole family's philanthropic heart, and just it's